What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have some news that came out that everybody is saying that undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Crawford has a record of 39 wins, no losses, no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. That Terence Crawford is blatantly ducking undefeated welterweight superstar title contender, the phenom as I call him, Jaron Boots Ennis. Jaron Boots Ennis, he has a record of 30 wins, no losses, no draw, 27 big wins by way of knockout. He is 25 years of age, 5'10" with a 74-inch arm reach. And the reason everybody's pointing to this and saying that Terence Bud Crawford is ducking Jaron Boots Ennis, and he has help from the World Boxing Organization, as the World Boxing Organization has dropped Jaron Boots Ennis from their ranking system, right? Shockingly. In their updated ranking system, Jaron Boots Ennis is not in the ranking system. And so many people looked at this and they immediately stated, well, Jaron Boots Ennis is being avoided by Terence Bud Crawford, right? And that, Terence Crawford doesn't truly want to fight the toughest fights out there. Now, Jaron Boots Ennis, initially, he was ranked #2 in the WBO rankings. And suddenly, he was dropped out of the top 15. Suddenly, okay? Now, the thing about this is, he's not only been dropped. This is what's not being highlighted, is that Jaron Boots Ennis is not only dropped in the WBO rankings, but he also is dropped in undefeated unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be #2, if not #1, definitely top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and ERROL the True Spence Jr. ERROL Spence Jr. has a record of 28 wins, no loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout, 32 years of age, 5'9", with a 72-inch arm reach. Well, ERROL Spence, he holds the WBA, WBC, and the IBF. But shockingly, Jaron Boots Ennis has also been dropped out of the WBC rankings. World Boxing Council President Mauricio Suleiman and board of 32 members, Jaron Boots Ennis has been removed out of their ranking systems as well. Now, he's still in the IBF, International Boxing Federation's ranking systems with President Mr. Peoples, but in the WBA, he's still ranked in the WBA. But in the WBC, Jaron Boots Ennis has been dropped from the ranking system. Now, it begs the question, what did Jaron Boots Ennis do to be dropped from this ranking system? Well, more than likely it comes from him petitioning the International Boxing Federation to be the mandatory challenger for Errol Spence. And because of that positioning and the politics within the sport of boxing, the other sanction bodies don't want Jaron Boots Ennis to represent their sanction body, which is complete nonsense, if you ask me, okay? But nonetheless, this looks like this is what's taking place, okay? And so if you look at the ranking systems, okay, as I'm going to give it to you right now. So if you look at the ranking systems right now, in the WBO, Terence Crawford is obviously the belt holder. At #1 now is Virgil Ortiz Jr., which is ironic because Virgil Ortiz Jr. is #1 in the WBO, but he's getting ready to fight the WBA regular champion, Ennis Stanionis. He didn't lose his position. And former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith "One-Time" Thurman has been elevated to #2 in the WBO, as that was Jaron Boots Ennis' spot. Alexis Roca is #3. Cody Crowley is #4. He wasn't even in the top 10. Giovanni Santillan is #5. Blair Cobbs is #6. Rashidi Ellis, coming off of a loss, is #7. Keita Obara is #8. Yordanis Ugas is #9. And Anthony Young is #10 in the WBO. Then you have the IBF. But before we get to the IBF, let's look at the WBC, because the WBC has decided to do the same thing. The WBC has Keith Thurman at #1. We know he's the mandatory. Virgil Ortiz at #2. Okay. Yordanis Ugas at #3. Cody Crowley again has popped up at #4. Solomon Sissoko as #5. Abel Ramos at #6, Igis Kavalauskas at number 7. David Avanesian coming off of a knockout loss to Terence Crawford at number 8. Then you have Thelani Mumbang at number 9. And Mario Barrios, who's coming off of 2 back-to-back losses. He lost and was knocked out by Gervonta Tank Davis, then lost to Keith Thurman. He's at number 10. Rashidi Ellis, coming off of a loss, is at 11. Jamal James, coming off a loss, is at 12. And Raul Correll is at number 13. Okay, so you have Mario Barrios coming off a loss, Rashidi Ellis coming off a loss, Jamal James coming off a loss. They're in the ranking system. Okay, your Danis Ugas coming off of a loss, Igis Kavalauskas and David Avanesian coming off of losses. And they're in the top 10 ranking system for the WBC, and Jaron Ennis has been moved out. That's called politics. For the WBA, now, Armanis Stanionis, the regular champion. Virgil Ortiz is at number 1. How come Virgil Ortiz is not losing his position? He's at number 1. He's fighting Stanionis. Then you have Jaron Ennis at 2. Keith Thurman at 3. Conor Ben is at number 4. Conor Ben has tested positive for a banned substance and has been suspended from the sport of boxing. But yet Conor Ben is at number 4 still. Your Danis Ugas coming off a devastating loss to ERROL Spence is at number 5. Butev, who lost to Stanionis, is at number 6. Gabriel Matishvi, we know Maestri, we know he lost his fight. There's nothing to see there. Tara Shalescu is at number 8. Jesus Ramos is at 9. Mukram Seganov is at number 10. Trayshawn Wiggins is at 11. Ryota Taishima is at 12. Mikel Fox, who beat Maestri, is at 13. This is the ranking system. For the IBF, you have Jaron Boots Ennis at number 1. Okay. Then you have a vacant spot at number 2. Then you have Virgil Ortiz at 3. Keith Thurman at 5. And the list just goes on. It just gets ridiculous, even more ridiculous as the list goes on. The IBF has Jaron Ennis at 1. Nobody at 2. Virgil Ortiz at 3. Chua Kazim, who lost to Jaron Ennis, is at number 4 still. He's ahead of Keith Thurman at 5. Ivan Galoob is at 6. Shakram Gayasov is at number 7. Rashidi Ellis, who just lost, is at 8. Roman Villa, who beat Rashidi Ellis, is at 9. How could that be possible? Romain Villa just beat Rashidi Ellis, and yet Rashidi Ellis is ranked higher than he is. Ikal Usman is at number 10. Cody Crowley is at number 11. Alexis Roca at 12. And Florine Marcoux is at 13. Okay, so this is the politics within the sport of boxing. This has nothing to do with a particular fighter like Terence Crawford looking to avoid a fighter in Jaron Boots Ennis. This has everything to do with the politics within the sport of boxing, giving us, the fans, a little more insight of how the politics work in the sport of boxing. It has absolutely nothing what you're doing in the ring. Has absolutely everything to do with your relationship. So when you hear people saying that Terence Crawford is avoiding Jaron Boots Ennis and Jaron and the WBO is allowing him to do so, it's utterly ridiculous, because I just gave you 3 guys in the WBC rankings. Jaron Boots Ennis has been removed. He was at number 2 in the WBC rankings. Now he's been removed completely from the top 15. And then you have 5 guys that just coming off of losses in the top 12 of the WBC rankings. So how could Jaron Ennis, who didn't lose, he beat Chua Kazim every single round in his last fight, but yet Jaron Boots Ennis has been dropped out the top 15. But you have 5 guys that's coming off of losses, knockout losses at that, and they're still ranked in the top 10 of the WBC ranking system. That has everything to do with politics and nothing to do with the fighters. Once again, it has everything to do with politics and nothing to do with fighters, okay? Terence Crawford is not avoiding Jaron Boots Ennis. I know this for a fact, okay? And with that said, Jaron Boots Ennis deserves his opportunity. Now, ERROL Spence, ironically, is going to be fighting Keith Thurman, who's his WBC mandatory challenger, who fought 3 times in 6 years, is going to fight at 154 to satisfy his WBC mandatory challenge without his belts on the line. Well, essentially, they are on the line. It's just that he can't lose them. If he wins, he satisfies his mandatory. If he loses, he keeps his belts. These are the politics within the sport of boxing. Okay, and Jaron Boots Ennis deserves his opportunity. He's the mandatory for ERROL Spence's belt. Now, ERROL Spence, more than likely, I highly doubt that Errol Spence come back down to 147, going up to 154. I think he's going to beat Keith Thurman, but I'm hard pressed to see him coming back down to 150, 147. He stated on numerous occasions that making 147 is not easy. He's been doing it for 10 years, and he's eager to get up to 154. So why would he go to 154 and come back to 47? It looks like Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence is going to take place May 27th. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.